Hey, come on in. Have a seat. Something I want to go over with you. I know that this is not recent, but it's been on my mind for a while. It's really been bothering me, and I just want to vent, rant, share some of my feelings with you here. And I'm going to be talking first, second, and third person. I do that. Get used to it. Talking about Kelly Ripa and the drama over Live with Kelly and Michael Strahan. I'm calling bullshit on this, and I'm going to tell you why. Let me give you a little bit of background. Those of you who've been living in a snow cave at the North Pole for the last couple of months and haven't heard about this drama on the set, the ABC morning program Live with Kelly and Michael, Kelly Ripa and Michael Strahan, recently went through, as I said, some drama where Kelly Ripa walked off the set for an entire week. She refused to come back to the show for an entire week. The reason she left is her co-host, Michael Strahan, who's been co-hosting the show for, I think, 4 years he was on the show. And he came from the world of professional athletics with very little media experience whatsoever. And he's done exceptionally well. He's really, really made a name for himself and transitioned seamlessly into his new field. Kudos to him for that. I respect him for that. It's really hard work for an athlete to be taken seriously like he's being taken now. I mean, now he's got national endorsements. He has a new gig over at Good Morning America, which is actually supposedly the reason why Kelly walked off the set. I'm jumping ahead. Let me back up. So, when Regis Philbin retired, Michael Strahan got to fill that spot. And Kelly Ripa, as far as I know, she's not one of the producers of the show. She's certainly not an owner of the show. It's wholly owned by Disney. ABC, which is owned by Disney, which is run by Bob Iger. Kelly, according to The Hollywood Reporter and to Fox News, wasn't really crazy about Michael getting the part. She insisted on being involved in the auditioning process, agreed to allow Michael to take the role. I don't think she really has that much power. I really don't, but anyhow. So she agreed to let Michael take the spot. Then the reports come in that she's not happy working with Michael. She doesn't like working with Michael. And I don't know why. Possibly because he became pretty popular. He really boosted ratings for a while. Now, like any unhappy employee or employee who's working at a spot where you've got a coworker who isn't happy with you, it's got to be an uncomfortable situation. He went looking for another job, and he got a job at Good Morning America. Now Kelly's upset. Kelly's upset that he got this gig at the other show and walked off the set, saying it's a failure to communicate. Hopefully I can communicate this to you as well as it should be. It's none of your damn business, Kelly. You're not happy he's hired. You're not happy to work with him. Now you're not happy he's leaving. It really sounds like the problem is you, Kelly. And I gotta tell you, one of the reasons that I'm really upset about this is Michael made only $4 million a year. I say only $4 million, but that is pretty low in this genre. But it's an entry-level salary for someone of his stature. So $4 million is pretty respectable for what he's doing. You, Kelly, you get $20 million a year. You get 20, and you've been on that show for 6 years. You get $20 million to show up on time, do your work, and go home without causing any drama. You're getting paid to promote the show and to promote a positive image. What you're doing with Michael, with this whole drama, is saying, I didn't get my way, or he got a job that I wanted. I didn't want this job, I wanted that job. Therefore, I'm gonna throw a tantrum and I'm gonna go home and pout until everyone cries. And I mean, what were you expecting? Were you expecting everyone to just call the producers or write to Disney or ABC saying, oh my God, she's gotta do this show, and not be told until the last minute that her co-host is leaving? It's none of your business. Why would you think it to make matters worse, as if things weren't getting bad enough? When you do come back, you use this drama as a tactic to negotiate a higher salary, as if $20 million a year is not enough. I gotta tell you, granted, you don't take home $20 million a year. 10% goes to your agent, 10 to 15% goes to what? Publicists, managers. It adds up. Then you got taxes after that. So you're probably, out of that 20, you're probably pocketing between 8 and 10 million. And you didn't get that 20 million all 6 years. We'll be conservative and we'll say for 3 years, you got 20 million a year. So that's 60 million minus all those deductions I just mentioned, minus taxes. You're still looking at about $30 million you should have in the bank. You don't go to a reputable media outlet as if anyone needs to hear your side of the story. I promise you, no one wants to hear it. You don't go to CNN. You don't go to MSNBC. Should anyone actually need to know what misery your life has become since Michael announced he's leaving the show? You didn't go to CNN. You didn't go to MSNBC. Thank God you didn't go to Fox. Yet somehow Fox News got interviews with people from the set. Now, granted, these interviews are with unnamed anonymous sources, insiders, which are huge red flags for bullshit artists looking for 15 minutes of fame. But these same quotes are popping up in others' media outlets. Hollywood Reporter. Okay, I got a problem with the Hollywood Reporter because lately they're just doing a lot of puff pieces. But still, besides these two, these quotes are popping up all over. As I said, you didn't go to any reputable source. First of all, why would you think anyone needs to hear your side of the story? But because you think someone needs to hear your side of the story, you sell your story to People magazine, a gossip rag used primarily to occupy the time spent in the bathroom, which is exactly where this story belongs, as toilet paper. This is ridiculous what you've done. Michael Gelman, the showrunner for Live, he's got to be a really nice guy. He's got to be just the nicest guy on God's green earth. And you better be grateful, thankful. You better get down on your knees and thank God Almighty I was not the studio boss. If I was, I don't care how nice Michael was. You pull that crap on my show, I would have given you 24 hours to get back on that set. If you didn't show up in 24 hours, I would have suspended you pending termination. First of all, I would have declared you in breach without cause. Then I would have suspended you pending termination, and I wouldn't give a shit what the unions would do. You try to do that, you're costing me money. You're a liability, not an asset. May 13th would have been your last day, not Michael Strahan's. The worst I would have had to do, the worst thing I would have had to do, because you probably have a pay or play clause, I would have paid out the balance of your contract, which ends in less than a year. I think in spring 2017, I would have paid out the balance, canceled the option. I would not have exercised the options, And I would have brought in someone else who, and here's the thing, a lot of you may or may not know, in this industry, there's literally a 99% unemployment rate. 99, no joke, you can look that up anywhere. It fluctuates depending what outlet you look at. Sometimes it's 96%, sometimes it's 99%. It's in that range. I know for a fact, I would have found a stack of resumes from the ground to the moon of people who would cost a fraction of what you're costing this studio, costing this show, who could have brought in more viewers and caused little or no disruption at all on the set. I can think of 2 people off the top of my head who I don't know, I've never spoken to, but who I would have sought out as your immediate replacement long term. One, Anastasia Griffith. Here is somebody who's got that girl next door quality. She's very sweet on camera. She's very friendly on camera. She loves her fans. She's been in the industry for a number of years, so she works well in both areas. She can talk to people in the industry as well as in the audience, and she's equally comfortable. And she's got that adorable English accent. The second person I would go to, if Anastasia wasn't interested, Constance Marie. She played George Lopez's wife on a sitcom for a number of years. Again, she's got that girl next door quality. She's very friendly. She's been in the industry. She, again, like I said with Anastasia Griffin, she's comfortable talking to people in the industry as well as people in the audience. I know this is rude, and I know this makes me sound like a total asshole. You're not that special. You really aren't. What were you doing? I don't even know how you got $20 million a year. I would really love to sit down with Bob Iger and ask him, what were you drinking, smoking, or thinking? $20 million a year for Kelly Ripa. Not when Michael is bringing in the viewers for $4 million. What were you doing before Live? A failed sitcom. And before that, a daytime soap opera star. Now, I'm not putting down daytime soap opera stars, but if you were so successful in that field, why would you leave? Why would you leave? There are people in that field who've been working soap operas for decades that are immensely popular. Anthony Geary, General Hospital, can't live without him. What do you think you're going to be doing after Live? I just think you have a lot to consider. You have a lot to really think about. And my advice to you, from me to you, don't ever pull that again. I think you got away with it once. Next time, you won't be so lucky. And one reason I'm so hot-headed about this is because this diva attitude pops up every now and then in the industry. And for some reason, studio bosses or showrunners seem to think they're held hostage by the star. And you're not. You really aren't. Transitions in shows happen all the time. Shows succeed, shows survive. It's time to put an end to this diva, to the unwarranted diva attitude. I mean, if there's a legitimate reason, like someone's being harassed or someone is being, their contract is not being honored, I understand. Then you got to negotiate, and negotiations break down. You do what you think is best. But to walk off the set because you were not told your coworker got a job that you wanted but didn't get, I'm sorry. You're toxic, lady. You're just toxic through and through. As far as quoting these unnamed sources, these industry insight sources, I apologize because, like I said, if you can't put your name to a statement, it really shouldn't have any value. It shouldn't carry any weight. Kelly actually said this national living nightmare is over. Let's hope so. Not just for your sake, but for everyone's sake who works on Live. Because if that show goes off the air, if that show stops production, Don't worry about you not getting paid. Worry about the hundreds of people making a fraction of what you make who won't be getting paid, who won't have work. I think what you did was selfish, manipulative, and wrong. You can quote me on that. I'm Christopher Mowat. I'm the Armchair Studio Boss.
Make a statement, let's crack the pavement. What's a plan to man his whole fate? We're changing from the gutter to greatness. Never stay complacent, let's own the night. Let's take what's taken. I'm contemplating, sick of waiting, sick of sleeping while the dreams awaken. I swear I'm leaving if nothing's changing. Embrace the weekend if tonight's amazing.
I'm telling you, baby, that